you?
I'm doing super good. So first of all, thank you so very much for this live. We are honored to have you on board.
Thank you so much for inviting me to chat. It makes it all feel so real. I'm really excited to be speaking with you and your audience too.
Thank you so very much. And also, sorry for the confusion because in India we just have one time zone, and I just thought that in Australia it's the same, but I got that you have multiple time zones.
It's actually crazy. About 30 minutes south of where I live, the time zone changes. So it's very easy to get confused. I think Queenslanders and New South Wales residents do it all the time. So I'm sorry for the confusion, and I don't blame you at all because we have quite a few different time zones going on.
Yeah, in India we just have one time zone, so no worries about that. So how are you doing, and how was your day as of now, and your preparations about Miss World? What's everything going on?
I'm good. It's getting really exciting now. Obviously, everybody's patiently awaiting the announcement of where the 72nd Miss World will be. So I'm kind of every day I wake up going, is today going to be the day? Who knows? Who knows when we're going to find out? But my preparations are going really well. I've recently filmed some content for my personal introduction video, which I cannot wait to share with everybody. And I'm working
Yeah.
really hard as well on my Beauty with a Purpose project, which is super important to me.
It is super important, and we all know this thing that BWAP is a very important round for Miss World. And talking about the venue of Miss World, so last year it was in India, and as the rumors I heard, so it might be in India again this year. So if it happens in India, so how excited are you about it?
So excited. I've never been to India, and I know that coming to India with Miss World will be an incredible experience, but also an opportunity to see parts of India that I may not have visited otherwise. And I'm so excited, but fingers crossed, who knows where it's going to be.
Yeah, we are just hoping that it will be back in India. And last year when it was in India, so I had the opportunity to watch the event live from the venue. And I also had the opportunity to meet all the Miss World contestants from last year's batch, along with Julia Morley, this year of Miss World. So it was an amazing opportunity. And, I also had the opportunity to spend some time with the contestants. I have very dear friends of mine from last year's batch, Miss World Thailand, Miss World Finland. So, it was an amazing experience. So I'm just hoping that it will happen back in India.
I hope so too, and hopefully we'll get to meet and chat in real life. I
That's
think something so nice about the opportunity to have Miss World in India is that the Indian people seem to be huge fans of the Miss World pageant, and it's something that's really well regarded in India. So to be able to step foot into that atmosphere where people are really interested in who we are and what we're doing is an absolute honor.
because Miss World is the most popular pageant in India, so the excitement is valid. Yeah. So talking about your BWAP, as I said, that BWAP is a very important part of Miss World. So would you like to elaborate about your Beauty with a Purpose project for everyone?
Yes, so my Beauty with a Purpose project is something that came very naturally to me. When I entered Miss World Australia, I already knew and was already working towards what my Beauty with a Purpose project has become. So my advocacy is prevention and awareness for domestic violence against women. It is an issue in Australia that this past year, 2024, it was announced as a national crisis. I believe it was 101 women killed in Australia as a result of gender-based violence last year. So it's an issue that is extremely prevalent in our society here in Australia, but also one that is extremely close to my heart, having lost a family friend to domestic violence back in 2015. So my family friend Tara, she was murdered in an act of domestic violence, and it really opened my eyes to the reality of this issue in our country. And there is so much more that we could be doing as a nation to prevent this. It's not something that should be just pushed aside. It's something that is completely preventable, at least to a large degree. So I think having more people speak about it publicly is so important. And that is why, as soon as I entered Miss World Australia, I knew that this is what I wanted to champion.
That's an amazing BWAP. And as you said, that harassment and violence in any form is not acceptable at all. Not just in Australia, but anywhere in the world, it is not acceptable because the first thing that as human we all should do is to love and care like for others, and it is not acceptable at all. So it's an amazing BWAP. Kudos to you.
Thank you. It's really important to recognize and move throughout the world with the idea that we all have the right to feel safe and to be
Yeah.
safe. And in Australia, for women, just leaving our front door, that's not the case at the moment. And so, with the organisation that I work with, the Tara Brown Foundation, our goal is to raise as much money and as much awareness as we can to support victims of domestic violence. We couldn't save Tara, but through her tragic death, we hope that we can at least in her legacy save another woman from what she went through.
Exactly, and you are doing a great work, and I can see this project going very far in the competition because that's something that Miss World organization stands for. They are against the violence. They are always empowering not just women but men also around the world. So that's an amazing project.
Thank you. I also have a really exciting project that falls under my Beauty with a Purpose banner or umbrella. It's something that I've been working on since I was crowned Miss World Australia, and I'm really excited because I'm in the final stages of editing my first children's book. So I've written it, it's in the final stages of editing, and it should be released in the next 4 to 6 weeks, which will be so exciting but also really emotional. I'm so proud of what I've produced, and I hope that it's a book that we can filter into our education system and into the hands of children around Australia and hopefully even around the world to give kids an age appropriate understanding of how to advocate for themselves and how to advocate for kindness.
That's amazing, and by the time we might even know the venue of Miss World, like in 4 to 6 weeks.
Hopefully.
So accordingly, you can, or like, of course, as your fans, as your followers, we can also help you to amplify that project.
Yes.
That would be amazing. So regarding your journey in pageantry, because like I love pageants, I have been following pageants since 2016 when India won Mr. World. So it's almost, I would say, a kind of decade, like 9 years following pageantry. So I would really like to know that how did you start your pageant journey? Like how did you enter pageantry, and what was your purpose and motive to enter pageants and represent your country internationally?
It's a really long story, but starting right at the beginning, I was 16 years old when I was scouted for a teenager pageant here in Australia, Miss Teenager Australia. And it's not something at that point in time that I had really ever looked into very seriously. But I ended up going to a casting with the directors and competing in that pageant throughout my final year of high school. And I represented Australia overseas at Miss Teenager Universe. And my eyes were open to how incredible pageantry is and the opportunities that it can bring, not only to me as an individual, but to the things that I care about. And I ended up winning overseas Miss Teenage Universe way back in 2013. And when I got home from that competition, I started looking into pageants a bit more. And that was when I decided this is something that I really want to take seriously in life. And having the honour to represent Australia on the international stage as a teenager is something that I knew that I wanted to carry into adulthood. And 10 years later, I finally found myself with the Miss World Australia crown on my head.
That's amazing, and I really want to ask you this question that whenever you are representing your country internationally and whenever people call you by, not by your name, but by your country's name, like Miss World Australia or Miss Australia, how does it feel, Because to put on the sash of the country across your chest and to be called by your country's name internationally, it's a huge responsibility. At the same time, it's a pressure as well. So how does that feel when
It
people call you by country's name?
It is an unbeatable feeling to be recognised as Australia or as Miss Australia is such a unique experience that not many people get to have in their lifetime. So I don't take it lightly. I take it with great responsibility, and I just hope that when I do step foot on that Miss World stage, that my fellow Australians are proud of me and happy with how I'm representing our country.
It's an amazing feeling. That's reason why I asked you this question because last year I had the opportunity to judge Mr. Tourism Ghana, like virtually it was the judging panel. So when they were introducing the judging panel and when they called this thing that glamour of pageants from India, you won't believe this thing. I was on Zoom call and I had goosebumps all over my body. When they call this thing glamour of pageants from India. So I was like, I still remember that moment. It was a moment that I will never forget. So as you said, this thing that it's something that you will never forget, and it's a huge thing to be called by your country's name.
It is, and having done that as a teenager on a much smaller scale, I'm beyond excited to do that at the 72nd Miss World. I think that it's about time an Aussie took home the Miss World crown. We haven't had one since 1972, so I'm really just going to put my best foot forward, give it my all, go in there being my authentic self, and hope that the rest of the world sees what Australia has to offer.
And last year also, Australia was so close to winning the crown, and like Miss World Australia from last year, she was amazing. I also had the opportunity to meet her in India. So like Australia did very well last year, and this year also Australia is coming very strong for the crown.
Thank you. I'm so lucky because Kristen did compete as Miss World Australia last year and she did so well. So I feel like she's really put us up there with the sash factor, and having her guidance throughout this preparation is something that I'm so grateful for. And I'm really lucky to have someone in my corner that has such a wonderful experience with the Miss World organization.
Exactly. And it's very important as well. So talking about the preparations for Miss World, DWIP we have already done. But for other rounds like the national costume, I would say, or if the World of Dance round will happen. So how's the preparation going for the rounds?
I'm not going to lie, we haven't actually come to a 100% firm decision yet. We have so many ideas floating around, incredible ideas and different ways that we could represent Australia for Dances of the World or national costume. I know what I'm going to do for Dances of the World, so that's a good start. But my national costume is yet to be revealed because we are still in the working phases of it. But I can tell you it's going to be something that is very authentic to me and represents my idea of Australia and what I love most about our country.
And that's going to be amazing because, for Miss World, when what I witnessed last year, and because it was my very first pageant to watching the pageant live, so when I was seeing all the contestants in the national costume, one thing that I could feel that, they were literally carrying their country behind them when the costume that they were putting on. So it was actually very easy to understand that they are from which country, because their national costume was depicting their country, the culture, their representation very well. So we are expecting the same from your national costume as well, and it's going to be amazing. We do believe.
Absolutely. And it's such a great way for us as the fellow contestants to get to know each other and get to know more about the beautiful places that all of the different women come from, because we'll get to build these friendships throughout the competition. So I think it's really important as a such a big international organization that we have that opportunity to learn more about their culture and the things that are really important to them in their hometowns and homelands.
So well said. Talking about the friendship, as you said, so have you talked to your fellow contestants as of now? I know this thing very well that some contestants are yet to be crowned because they have not been crowned as of now. But the remaining contestants, so have you talked to them, or do you have any kind of group or chat group?
I don't know that there's a group chat just yet, but I have connected with quite a few of the other contestants, and it's the part of the process that I'm probably most excited about is being able to form friendships with people from
Yeah.
different parts of the globe. It's a very unique way to make new friends, and it's really beautiful to have already connected with some of the other girls. I've been chatting with Miss World USA since before she was even crowned, so that's really cool to being able to follow her journey throughout the national pageant and see Athena's success too. And it's just nice to know that we're all getting to know each other on social media, but to be able to have that opportunity to meet face to face is going to be what I expect a really emotional moment.
And that's the best part of being in pageantry, because as I said that I was like into pageants since 2016, so I have made so many virtual friends all around the world, like from Australia, from Guadeloupe, from Mexico, from TNT, from South Africa, from Thailand, Philippines. So that's the best part of pageantry. You get your lifetime friendships for the life. And talking about this page glamour of pageants, so I'm not running this page alone. We have a team, and you won't believe this thing. I have never meet my team face to face because they are from different countries and different parts of India. We have been in contact with each other since 2019, so it's almost 6 years. But we have never done even a single video call. We have
That's
never even made a call.
crazy.
We are just chatting on WhatsApp group, Instagram group. That's it. But still, we are in contact, and the bond has become stronger year by year. So that's the power and essence of pageantry.
It really is, and it's such a wonderful world to be a part of when we have such great technology. And I think people often forget that there's more than just the 130 something contestants in Miss World that get to build those friendships, but it's the whole community surrounding Miss World that we immediately become a part of. And that includes people like our supporters, our pageant pages who really support and market the competition throughout the year, the chaperones, all of the staff and organisation that we get to connect with throughout this process. It's such a wide community that are all there for one really good cause. And I think it's important not to discount what a beautiful opportunity that is to build friendships with different people from different walks of life around the world.
And when we were talking, like it was just I think few months back, and we were talking that we have known each other for 6 years and we have never done even a single video call. That's crazy.
Come on, surely you could do a video call tonight.
We will do because even when I was in Mitzvah last year, just to go and watch the competition, so I was trying to do a video call so that I can show the show to them through video call, but it was not happening. So I was like, we will never do a video call, even if it's like 20, 30 years of our friendship.
hopefully you guys can make that happen soon. But I know as we experience, it can be a little bit difficult with all the different time zones sometimes, can't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. So talking about Miss World, who is your favorite Miss World winner? And you can choose one, two, three, as many as you can. Because whenever I ask this question, all the contestants, all the queens are always confused. They're always like, "Can we choose more than two?" Because all of them are amazing. The winners that we have at as of now. So who's your favorite Miss World?
I would say off the top of my head, Rolene, Miss World 2014. She was the winner in the first year that I really started intensely following Miss World. And I remember watching that final on, I believe it was YouTube or some streaming service, and falling in love with Rolene. She was the epitome of beauty with a purpose, grace. I loved everything about her project. I loved the way she spoke and presented herself, and the fact that she continued to follow on with all of the work that she was doing before she won Miss World. She managed to continue that on for such a long time following her reign, and I think that shows how genuine she was in her personality when she stepped foot on that stage.
She's super amazing. And you said because all the Miss World, not just her, all the Miss World winners as of now, they have created their own legacy, and not just for women like you, but also for men like us. It's a kind of roadmap that we can follow and we can take help from, tips from, to create our own legacy as well. It also helps to create our own journey and in our journey as well. So like all the queens are amazing as of now. Because if someone asks me this question, I won't choose a single name. I will call like everyone is my favorite. I won't be able
It's
to
a
choose
pretty
one
tough question.
because we have
I
six Miss World winners from India, so I can't choose one out of them as well. And I have so many winners outside India as well who are my favorites, so I can't choose one.
I when I speak to other people who may not be so familiar with Miss World, one name that everybody's aware of is Miss World 2000, Priyanka. She
Yeah,
has really carved a legacy out for Miss World for such a long time now. To still be as relevant and incredible as she is today, 25 years later, is just crazy to me. And I think the fact that she is still very supportive of the organization, she's just done so much for Miss World as an organization, as a brand, and for every single woman that's come after her. And both Rolene, Priyanka are UNICEF ambassadors or were UNICEF ambassadors at one point. So it's not just the beauty aspect of it that I love about those women, but the fact that they really stood by the things that they believed in and they were able to make tangible change with the work that they did when they were Miss World and following their reign too. It's just, like you said, hard to pick just one. They're all absolutely incredible, which is why that crown was placed on their head. But I, they're two notable names in my mind.
and when Priyanka won Miss World, I was not even born at the time. So
Just a baby.
I was like, maybe I like because I'm 2002. So when she won, it was 2000, and I remember this thing. I was talking to one of my friends from TNT, Trinidad and Tobago. So he was like, that I love India. I love your Miss World winners, Priyanka Chopra, Aishwarya Rai. So the two names that he had in his mind, like these were two names. So it's amazing that that how Miss World platform as a platform, it helps all the women out there to represent their country, but not just representing. It's also about the fact of creating their own legacy. So that women from their country and even outside their country can follow that legacy and they can achieve their own dreams as well.
Absolutely. And I can only hope that through the work that I do as Miss World Australia and on the Miss World stage, I can inspire the younger women in Australia to take a shot and enter our national competition. And if they haven't already got a Beauty with a Purpose project, hopefully the work that we do as an organization, both nationally and internationally, can inspire them to pick something that they're really passionate about and start working towards advocating for that. And that is the foundation of Miss World that I love so much, because it can really make a difference for the wider community, the general public, but it can also completely change the lives of the women who are entering.
So true, so true. Again, so talking about before we ask some pageant petty questions to you, because we have received so many questions for you, but we have shortlisted a few questions out of them. Because if you would ask all the questions, so it would make this live 2 and 3 hours long. So we won't be taking much time. So we have shortlisted a few questions out of them. But before asking those questions, we would like to know that what's your hobby and what you want to do, what you love to do when you have free time and when you have quality time in your day. So what's your favorite hobby to perform?
My hobby is horse riding. So I've been an equestrian, started horse riding since I was 5 years old, and I never had my own horse until I was 14. So I used to go to a riding school about 20 minutes drive from my house once a week on a Sunday morning. And I did that every single weekend with my dad for 8 years. And my parents blessed me with a horse when I was 14 years old. So it's something that's been a part of my life since I was a little girl. And as an adult, it never left me. It's a hobby that I know will be one of the most integral parts of who I am as a person for as long as I live. And I I like to coin this term ignorant bliss when I talk about horse riding. And when it comes to my mental well-being, my physical, emotional, spiritual well-being, when I get on my horse and go out for a ride, I don't think about anything stressful. It is my absolute ignorant bliss. It's my moments of total peace, and it's something that brings me happiness every time I do it. So that forms such a huge part of who I am. And they say horse girls are crazy, and it's probably true because we love our animals so much, and we do often allow horses to form such a big part of our personality. But it's something that's so unique and beautiful to be able to do every day.
That's an amazing thing. I would love to have, this horse riding thing because in India it's not that common. Because in India, we have more of cricket and all those things, but in India it's not that common. But I would love to have that once in my lifetime. And if someone asks me this question, what's my favorite hobby? So I have plenty of hobbies, but one thing that I really love to have because I'm a big foodie. So I love to have my favorite food in my free time and with my music, my favorite music on in my speakers and just eat the food and enjoy the moment. That's
That
it.
sounds like an almost perfect day to me.
It's a great day for me. Like whenever I have my favorite food, I just don't need anyone around me. I just need myself locked in my room, my food in front of me, and my music on, and that's it.
What's your favorite meal if you can pick just one?
Of course, the Indian cuisine. So I love rice so much, the Indian spices and all the rice things. So that's my favorite food. Also, though I'm foodie, but I am diet conscious as well. So I usually just have my Indian meal because my body type is a kind of type of body because if I eat so much, so next day I would be a completely different person in terms of weight. You know, so I have to eat in limitations. I have to like be very moderate about eating. But again, I'm a big foodie, so I have to have everything in quantity, limited quantity.
It's all
So
about
yeah,
balance, hey?
yeah, it's all about balance. Again, it's something because one I remember it was my birthday like 4 years back, and I just ate everything, whatever was coming on my way. And next day, I was a completely different person.
Do you go to the gym?
I do go to the gym. So like after that, I started that, just to balance the body weight thing and the food intake, and of course to burn the calories. But before that, I used to be like, whatever is coming on my way, just eat.
Honestly, live your best life. Nothing. What I think the saying is, nothing tastes better than skinny feels, but I completely disagree with that. I think eat what you love, keep your body active, find some sort of hobby that's super active that you can, exercise and move your body without thinking too much about it. And that is the key to overall happiness and health in my life. I don't know if it's that easy. It sounds much easier said than done, but I would say I'm a big foodie as well. But the problem is, I love pasta. It's the same kind
Oh
of
yeah,
situation.
yeah.
I really need to limit the amount of pasta I eat because I just can't be eating that all day, every day.
It's something that we need to learn. Like it's easy to say, but it's difficult to adapt. But people like us, we try our best to adapt these things.
Have you ever ridden a horse?
No, never.
Never.
Yeah.
Well, you let me know if you ever find yourself in Australia, and maybe we can make that happen.
That would be amazing. That's why I was saying to you because in India it's not that common because we have other things in India that's pretty common. But I like it would be amazing to have that thing happening maybe in Australia.
Absolutely. I live in such a wonderful place called the Gold Coast, and it's on the coastline of Queensland in Australia. And we have the luxury of having the beautiful ocean and beaches right at our doorstep, and also the Gold Coast hinterland. So our beautiful bushes, rainforests might be a stretch, but our beautiful bushland and hinterland just 15 minutes from my doorstep, as well as the ocean 15 minutes in the opposite direction. So I have this lucky ability to be what we kind of call a coastal cowgirl, because I love the cowgirl lifestyle. I love horse riding. I love being out in the country, but you'll also often catch me horse riding down at the beach, which is just that another level of unique experience on a horse. To be able to swim on the back of a horse is one of the most adrenaline rushing feelings and incredible feelings that you could possibly experience.
We'll surely do this thing once if I land in Australia, or maybe because we Indians are not allowed to have dual citizenship. But whenever I was in Australia, so I will definitely have that one try for this thing.
Yes, you've got to do it at least once in your life. You've got to get on the back of a horse.
That would be amazing. So we have one more question for you. So this question was asked from one of my very dear friend, and it's a quite funny question. So you can answer it in any way. There is no one specific way to answer this question. So the question is, if you could have one superpower, so what would it be and why? Like any superpower that you would like to have for your lifetime.
Hmm. I often wonder what it would be like to be invisible,
Yeah,
to to almost be a fly on the wall, because such a big part of my life is being on stage and in front of big audiences and on camera. And I think it would be so interesting to see the world from the perspective of someone who is invisible, to kind of be like a fly on the wall. I just feel like that could be an interesting experience.
that's an amazing superpower, I would say. But if if someone asked me this question, so I would say that I would love to read people's mind before even they are saying something. So mind reading is one of my favorite thing that I would love to have.
I That was one of the first things that popped to my mind, but then I didn't say it because, oh my gosh, imagine if they were thinking something that you just really didn't need to know or didn't want to know. You
You
could
know
never get
that
away from it.
that's going to be something very contrasting because just imagine if you are thinking because human mind thinks so much in 1 second in 1 minute, so we never know that someone who can read minds, so which thought that person has read from our mind. And we never meant to have
Exactly.
that thought in our mind.
It's
So that's
it's an interesting perspective.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. Also, like because I love to study and to talk and to watch about universe. Like literally, won't believe I have watched every single series on Netflix that's related to space and universe. Like whatever I have got in my mind. So yeah, so I really love to be in universe once. I can fly like from one planet to different planet, and I can just fly in the universe. And hopefully, I can come back to Earth. I don't want to be stuck in universe.
I would love to be able to fly. That would be wonderful. We live in a very built up world, so to have the ability to skip out on all of the traffic and be able to visit loved ones that live far away more often, I think that's a wonderful superpower, being able to fly.
That would be amazing. So we have some pageant patty questions for you, and one of the question is that if you have the power to change or bring a change in the world as the next Miss World winner, not just as Miss World Australia, but as the Miss World winner, so what would it be and why?
Can you repeat the question? If I had the power.
If you have the power to bring a change in the world regarding any cause, any advocacy, so what would it be and why as the next Miss World?
I would love to continue the work that I'm doing advocating for prevention of violence against women and gender based violence, and tie that in with promoting equal or equitable access to education for all. I am a primary school teacher. I have a Bachelor of Education. That's what I studied after high school. And on a global scale, I think that education truly is our most powerful weapon against poverty, and an educated mind has the ability to create their own path moving forward in life. So to be able to provide education on a more equitable scale internationally would be something that I would really work hard on as Miss World. And within that, that brings my Beauty with a Purpose project back into play, because I also believe education is the first step to solving the issue of violence against women. If we can educate young men and women from a really young age, early intervention is so important. So I feel with almost any social issue or social cause, it all comes back down to the foundational education that children are receiving, and adults alike. And I think it would just be so wonderful to be able to make a difference in terms of offering education to children and countries that may not have the greatest access to these resources.
That's an amazing answer. I could see one comment. I don't know where it went. So someone was saying that that's how a Miss World speaks.
Oh, thank you. I really do hope that I have a good chance at making this dream a reality. And I feel that my journey through pageantry was unsuccessful on many occasions in another system, because it led me here to the Miss World platform. And so I really believe that who I am as a person embodies what it means to be Miss World. And I just hope that I get the opportunity to put that to the test as much as I can on the international stage.
And I have to say this thing that like I have to give the credit to the queens from Australia specifically. You guys are always very well spoken. Be it Miss World Australia from last year, and of course you for this year. You guys are always very well spoken, very very clear with your thoughts, and that's a very unique and important quality I would say for a competition like Miss World. Because what we have seen as of now that all the Miss World winners, one thing that is common in all of them is they're very clear with their thoughts, like they're very clear that what they have to do, what they have to say, and what they have to speak. and of course, very well versed in terms of communication. So I have to give the credit to queens from Australia like you who are very well spoken, and that's a very big advantage for Miss World, like competition like Miss World. That's going to be your strongest point, I would say.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm so lucky to be amongst a long line of incredible winners of Miss World Australia and take a lot of inspiration from the queens who came before me. So thank you for that kind comment about us all.
That's true about that. So yeah. So before we ask the final question, we have one more question, and that is, so this question is something I would say, kind of psychological question, I would say, because when I got the question, so I was like, maybe should I ask this question or not? Like, so the question is that it was about destiny. So do you believe in the power of destiny? And if yes, so do you have any instances that how destiny can actually pave the way for you in terms of achieving your dreams? I know it's a kind of tricky question.
That's okay.
I was not sure,
I
like, do I need to ask this question or not?
no, you've got to throw us in the deep end, get as much as you can out of us. I am a strong believer in the power of destiny and that what is for you shall not pass you.
Yeah,
So essentially everything happens for a reason, and every time that I'm faced with a challenge or adversity in my life, in my career, in my pageant journey, any situation, I always hold on tightly to the fact that everything happens for a reason. And sometimes that reason just hasn't revealed itself yet.
yeah,
So it's important for me to know that what is for me will not pass me. And destiny has a funny way of leading you to exactly where you're supposed to be. And that's exactly how I feel about my journey through pageantry and landing here in the Miss World competition.
that's so well said. And even I do believe in the power of destiny. Because just to talk about this page, Glamour of Fashion. So I opened this page in 2023, May. Like it's gonna be 2 years in this year's May for this page. And you won't believe like what's the story of opening this page. So one day in the afternoon, I was just sleeping. I just woke up. I signed into Instagram. I opened this page. I just named it Glamour of Fashions, and I just went back to sleep. That's it. Like that's the story of opening this page. I never even thought that one day before that I will be opening a page like fashion related page. But I don't know why I opened I just signed into the Instagram. I just named it Glamour of Fashions, and it happened. Randomly it happened. There was no backup plan. There was no planned thing. It was just random step. And from that day to this day, it has led me and it has made me to do so many things in pageantry, like to watch Miss World live, to watch Miss Asia Global live. It was such an amazing experience. So that's why I do believe that destiny is always something that you will get close to your dreams. Because what if I wouldn't have opened up that day and I wouldn't have opened the page? I would have done
Imagine
all
if you
these
just
things.
stayed asleep.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know why I woke up that day. I was just like, just open the Instagram, just logged in, and just go back to sleep. That's it.
And it's such a beautiful thing to have this random idea that's come to your mind, come to fruition to be such a big part of your life and to have led you to different experiences like judging a pageant and viewing Miss World live, something that you may not have otherwise had the chance or had the inspiration to go and do. So Destiny definitely has a really funny way of bringing you to exactly where life intended you to land. And that's a
Exactly.
really fun way to go through life because everybody has a path, everybody has a plan, and it doesn't matter which faith or which religion, life morals that you believe in, as long as you believe in yourself and that destiny will lead you to where you're supposed to be.
That's so true. Because if someone asks me this question that what is glamour of fashion, so I always say this thing that it's not just an Instagram page. It's like my child.
It's a
Because I have given
lifestyle.
it's, it's a lifestyle. It's like my own child. So I can't live without this page now. Like because it's a part of my day to day routine now. Like I
And do you
almost
think
spent 2 and 3 hours on this page.
and do you think that this is something that you will continue to do for a really long time?
I will surely do that because I also aim to be a contestant in pageant to represent my country India as a contestant in pageantry. So hopefully, if I get success in that or whatever, like whatever is going to happen, I will surely continue this page forever. I have my team. So if not me, so I will carry forward this page to them because they are also pageant enthusiasts, people fans. So yeah, they will carry forward this legacy.
You never know. Maybe one day one of your fellow team members who run the page might be interviewing you.
That's going to be amazing. I never thought about
And
it. Yeah.
is it likely that if Miss World is in India again, do you think that you'll come and watch the show live?
I will try my level best, like literally my level best, because if it is happening in India, I will leave no stone unturned to watch the competition live. Because whenever any competition happens in India, the after like I have opened this page, I have always uh, been there at the venue, be it Miss World in Mumbai and Delhi, be it Miss Asia Global last month in Kerala. So I had the opportunity to be there as well. And um, to interview Miss Grand International Rachel Gupta as well when she was in India this last month. So through this page, I had the opportunity to meet and talk all of them. So I
Yeah.
will surely give my best.
And if you don't mind, if you have time, I have one question for you. That's it's going to throw you in the deep end a little bit.
Sure, sure.
What, if you can think of one in particular, what would be one of your favorite on stage question and answer questions of all time? What is there a question, a Q&A segment that you've loved the most throughout your years of following pageantry? Or is there a particular question that you think is a really good one?
Um, I have so many to be very honest. Like I have a list of that. Like whenever I love a question or whenever I think that it's an iconic question, so I write down those questions. So I have a long list of that. But one thing that I really remember, it was I think in Miss South Africa 2021, I would say. So the question was asked to one of the contestants, and the question was regarding period poverty, like the access that South African women don't have regarding poverty and period education. So the question was amazing, but the answer was even more iconic. So I really think that that question was amazing. And also one of the questions that was asked in Miss World 2017 when India won. So the question is, which profession deserves the highest salary and why? And this question is very unique in its own way because I do feel that it can be answered in so many ways. We can even name one profession, we can name more than one profession, and it can be answered in so many ways. So I think these two questions I have in my mind right now.
I love that. What a fabulous answer. You were more prepared for that than I could have ever imagined. There's a pageant king here and out in the midst.
I, you know, I won't say that I'm prepared, but what I have done since 2016, so I'm 23 right now. Um, since 2016, whenever I have any questions, so I always imagine this thing that I'm representing my country, India, in any pageant, and I have media around me, I have judges around me, and they're asking question to me, and I'm answering that question. So standing in front of the mirror in my room, I always answer that question. So I always have that imaginary moment in my mind that I'm answering the question, and I have to answer it like as a contestant.
And it's a great way to prepare because you will find yourself on a pageant stage soon, I'm sure of it, and you're going to be more than ready to answer those questions. And it's almost like every day for you is an opportunity to learn, and you're really taking advantage of these different ways that you can study and be strategic so that when you're put on the spot, because we all know Q&A can be a little bit high pressure. So
Yeah.
I can't wait to see you one day, hopefully on a pageant stage, and be able to watch all of your hard work come to fruition.
That would be amazing. And again, thank you so much for that. But right now it's your time. And before we end this live, so we have one last question for you. And this question is, I would say, you all would want to answer this question in your competition because if you enter top three of Miss World this year or top five, I would say you might get this question to answer. So the question is, why you should be the next Miss World?
I believe that everything that I do in my everyday life embodies what it means to be Miss World. And I know that with that platform, I can make a really big difference for the things that I care about. There are so many different causes that need our attention, and to have that opportunity to really make a difference as Miss World would be a dream come true. And it's about time we had an Aussie girl bring home that Miss World crown. So let's make it happen.
Yeah, bring it on to Australia. It's Australia's time. Yeah, that's
Thank
an
you.
amazing. Transfer. So yeah, we are done with all the questions from our side, and we are going to do one last segment, and that is, what if you win? So what I'm going to do, I will announce this thing that Miss World 2025 is Australia, and you have to give your winning reaction.
Okay.
Like, how would you react if you win? I hope you won't cry on stage
I'm already getting teary thinking about it.
because
Okay,
my
I'm ready.
my followers are gonna kill me online if I make you cry on this interview because they love you so much.
All right. Are you going to announce it?
Yeah, yeah. Let's do that, ladies and gentlemen. The winner of this year's Miss World is Australia. Woo!
I actually, I don't know if you can see, but I really do feel like I could cry.
Yeah, it's a moment that we all have remembered, and I hope that you will cry on stage because that cry would not be of something that you're emotional. Of course, you're emotional, but that cry is of tears of joy. You know, your dream have come true, and that's amazing to win for your country.
It really would be. It would be so amazing to do that for my country, but also to be able to then take that so much further and do so much more, not only for myself and my family and my country, but for so many people worldwide. And that really is what it means to be Miss World, is to care about others and to make a difference through beauty with a purpose. And I would probably just start bawling my eyes out if that opportunity actually came to reality.
That would be amazing. And how amazing it would be that I had the pleasure to interview you on Instagram and then to watch your victory at Miss World if you win. And if it happens in India, live from the venue, that would be amazing.
I would
That would be emotional for me
love
as
to
well.
see love to see a little compilation of this hypothetical reaction just now and the real reaction, hopefully one day. It'll be a pretty cool video.
What I will do, I will make before and after reels. So if you win, so I will post your reaction, winning reaction in after section, and we will post this reaction in the before section, so we can have the transition reel. I would say
I'm just going to keep manifesting that.
that would be amazing if you win. So we are done from all the part from our side. So thank you so very much for this interview. It was amazing to talk to you, and it was a fun learning live. I learned so much from you, from your project, and from your journey. It was amazing. So thank you so much, and we wish the best of luck to you for Miss World.
Thank you so much. It's been so lovely to chat. And while I've still got you here, please go and follow the Tara Brown Foundation. That is the charity that I'm a committee member of and forms such a huge part of my beauty with a purpose. So thank you for taking the time to listen and learn more about why I am stepping foot on that Miss World stage.
And if you need any help for your BWAP, so we are there for you, for your project, for your advocacy. You can just ping us anytime, any day, and regardless of any time zone.
Thank you so much. And next time we chat, we'll make sure we get that time zone thing under control.
Surely, we will try to do that. So thanks so much for this thing and have a good day ahead.
Thank you. Talk soon.
Bye bye.